All right. It's Thursday night. Hope you folks are having a great week and you have a great weekend coming up. It's good to see you all here tonight. But honestly, I had so much stuff for this presentation tonight that I'm going to have to do this in two parts. I got out, I did a lot of research, wanted to make sure what I brought you tonight was good stuff because it's very important with, the world's on the brink of war. Ain't no big secret. And the only way anybody can do anything actually with the United States, not just because of our military might, which I question actually, but because of our geographic location on the globe. The only way they can do anything really to take us down hard would be an EMP. So I wanted to come on here and talk about that, lay down a few of the basics for you guys. Like I said, there's going to be a second part. I'll probably release that on Saturday morning as a video. It's going to have a lot of information about your water collection when there's no power and, of course, solar power. There's a lot of things there that you need to know that, I want to bring it to you. You might already know it. A lot of it's basic, but you need to know it, especially with, in the state that the world is in right now. I mean, we're close to a world war and they just keep pushing it. I don't know what's going on. I think they're trying to distract us from everything else. Our nasty economy, the way our country's falling apart here at home. So, and these people don't mind playing the game on that scale. They play a game we can't comprehend. They don't care who it hurts, how many die, how many starve. They don't care. So you need to get ready. But right here's the first indicator. Iran said, Oh yeah, I was going to do the movie. I forgot. I did the review of the movie Civil War, and this popped up the other day, and I saw it, and I had to comment on it. Forbes is saying that men in red states are the ones that pushed the success of that movie on its opening weekend. That was the biggest opening for that studio in its history. And they're saying it's men doing it in conservative states. Might be.
What am I, chopped liver?
But yeah. She enjoyed it. She's not a man. She is in a red state. But yeah, if you hadn't seen that, get out and see it. It's worth a watch. It should be on streaming soon. Well, not soon, not as long as they're making money in the theaters. But you do need to watch it. It's really good. But I don't know why I got off topic on that, but I did. But right here is that first indicator I was talking about. Israel says that they will retaliate against Iran. It's coming. We don't know when. We don't know what it will be. But they're obviously not just going to let Iran get away with what they did, that kind of attack on their homeland. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't let them get away with it either. But of course, Iran chimed in when they found that out, and they said that nothing will remain of Israel if they do that. Well, that's just pushing the envelope, guys. Don't know what our illustrious leader is going to do, but hey, you never know with that guy. I don't think he's in charge anyway. We don't know who's actually in charge, but it could get nasty real quick. And like I said, the only way they could actually do anything with the United States is with an EMP. I don't think anybody has them, other than Russia and China maybe, has the actual munitions or personnel to attack the United States. But one of these little third world countries like Iran, they'll pop off an EMP in a heartbeat. And it don't take that much to do it. They keep saying on the news or through intelligence sources that Iran is developing a nuclear program. No, they have a nuclear program. We know they have the missiles to do it. They have ICBMs for sure. But all it would take is a couple of nukes and we're in the Stone Ages again, and they're not above doing that. They think we're the great Satan anyway. That's exactly what they said. So we'll see what happens with that. Plus, I saw on Russian TV, RT where there was a Russian diplomat that said that definitely Russia would be in a nuclear war with NATO nations before the Ukraine thing was over. So that's not good. We know they can deliver an EMP. So just get ready for it. That's what we're here tonight to talk about. All these hacks and all of this stuff. First one was this one right here. I'm sure you heard about the 911 system being out in 4 different states. I just saw a report on Fox News 20 minutes ago. They were blaming it on a cut fiber optic cable. Well, I thought that was kind of funny since the states were so far spread out. Texas, Nebraska, Hawaii, and one other, I can't remember. Nevada, yeah. You know, they're kind of spread out, especially Hawaii.
So they're all attached by one wire.
Yeah, it's way out there in the Pacific. So I'm sure it was attached to that cable in Texas, right? So they're not telling us the truth on that. Plus, we had this happen just a couple of days ago. Texas Water Utility, they admitted that their system was hacked by Russian hackers. Their water service was out for, I think it was 24 hours or so. And I mean, they just straight up said it was a hack. So we got all of this going on. We also have, you know, all the problems with the airlines. How many times have we seen, you know, delays in flights because the computer systems aren't working?
I have a question.
What's up?
Muleshoe, Texas.
Yep.
So is that just a way for them to practice on something small to see if it works?
Might
Why
be.
would they pick Muleshoe, Texas?
Probably because it was easy to access.
And they see if it works.
Yeah.
And then they move to bigger, better. Okay.
Yeah. And we know the FBI even admitted that Chinese hackers are in pretty much every utility in the United States. We've talked about that here before. The FBI said they sent a worm out to destroy that, that bot they have in the system, but there's no way to make sure that it's out of there. And like I've said before, unless they replace their entire computer programming system. And they're not going to do that because it costs too much. So America, we're just setting ourselves up for these kind of things, and they keep happening over and over and over, and it's just ridiculous. But I'm going to get right to what we're here to talk about, which would be an EMP attack. CME would do the same thing. It could be natural, but I put together a list of things you need to do just in case it does happen. So hopefully it'll help you out, help you get ready. And if you have any questions, put them in all caps right there. I'd greatly appreciate it. If I don't see it, Lady Prepper's going to point it out to me, and we'll get it up there and see if we can help you out. Well, I didn't do my roll call, but hey, I wanted to get right into this because, like I said, it's important. Scruffy Scrubs, thank you. All right. Appreciate you coming in. That's a new one. Thank you so much. But what we're here to talk about tonight is that EMP. All right. Now, here's a list of things that I think you should do if this ever happens, or a CME. I hadn't forgotten about you, Edith. I'm saving that for last. Like I said, this is a list. First one I have there is if you're not at home when something like that happens, get home ASAP. You should have a get home bag in your vehicle everywhere you go. And just, you know what happens. If you think that's what happened, the only thing you need to do, if you're away from home and you think that's what happened, look at that cell phone. If it's dead, that's what happened. It's that simple. Grab that go bag, get on that Hush Puppy Express, and get home as soon as you can, because that's where all your preps are. All right. Constitutional Stackers are with us. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Truly do. Number 2, decide if you're going to bug in or bug out once you get home, or if you are at home. That's a big decision to make. If things do go dark, you know, when do you determine if, yeah, I'm bailing out of here? I'm going to go to my bug out location, because that's a small window of time before things start going crazy. But that's up to you. It'd be terrible if you got together all your bug out gear, you headed out in the middle of nowhere, you get out there, and 2 days later, everything's back on. But that's a chance you got to take, guys. Better to be safe than sorry, right? That's the way I look at it. First thing you do, if this happens, is check for an electronic fire. You can smell it. I don't know. I'm sure pretty much everybody here smelled an electrical fire. And Two Aces Homestead, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Yep, sure would. But, you just walk around, you look at your electrical components. Like I said, you can smell that. You can smell an electrical fire. You'll know it when you smell it. Address that first. And then second, I'm going to recommend start filling any water containers you have. If there's any water service at all left, you need to start filling up your tub, your jugs, or whatever. But that might be the first service that goes down, with these Chinese hackers having access to that. But I'm going to address that in part 2 of this. I'm going to address that. Some of you will still be able to get water even when the water is not working. You're going to be able to turn that tap and get you some water. And I'm going to tell you how in part 2, which will be posted Saturday morning. Okay, right away, you should have your electronics in a Faraday cage. Should have some backup electronics in a Faraday cage. So break out that TV or that radio, that extra radio you have, and start scanning the dials. Because the federal government has emergency radio transponders that are EMP protected. So there's going to be word out there somewhere. You're just going to have to find it. Your best bet is going to be on the AM band. The federal government actually stopped auto dealers from putting AM radios in cars a few years ago because they're going to use the AM band for emergency communications. Get that radio out of that Faraday cage, fire it up, start scanning that dial. See if you can get any kind of news. All right. Next thing you should do is check your vehicles. There's a lot of theories out there about EMPs not knocking out all the vehicles. It would depend on exactly where they're located as far as the detonation overhead. Excuse me, guys. But like here in Florida, if they detonate one, I think they have the 2 North Korea has orbiting over us, supposed to detonate over Tennessee and the other one over Nevada. So if you're like in Florida, you're a long way from that detonation, your vehicle might work. But if it does work, you need to hide it somewhere. Because when things go bad, you never know. If you have an operating vehicle, it's going to be a tremendous asset after an EMP. But if you don't have anywhere to hide it, you need to pop that hood, disconnect something in the electronics. The battery, for one, would be a quick, set release right there. So if somebody does try to take your vehicle and they get in it and they try to start it, it's not going to start if the battery's not hooked up. It's that simple. They're going to think it's dead, just like every other car on the road probably. But that's just a couple of the ideas I was thinking you should do. A couple of more. Here we go. After we get those things done inside your house, these things are very vital, very important. You need to fortify your position. You should have those defensive tools ready, and plenty to feed them. But, you want to gather up your gear. You want to station if you don't have a team like we do, you want to station different tools around different locations. you'll need to do that. So if you're operating, like if you're in the center of your house and somebody's trying to come in the back and, you know, you got your side tool with you or your long tool with you, if you have to go to like the back corner of the house, you might want to put a backup there just in case, because you never know what might happen. Like it says right there, lock and load everything. And if you do have a team, right away you want to establish a security watch. You want a rotation. At least 6 hours, no more than that, because people get tired after that. If you have enough people, might drop that down to 4 hours. Establish your lookout points, put your team members there, and rotate those out every 4 to 6 hours. That will be vital in securing your location. And if you do have some backup comms, try to make contact with your team members or your neighbors or whoever you've established, communications with. Make sure you contact them first chance you get. Make sure they're okay. If they're your team, make sure they're on the way. But that's something that would be very vital. Another important point here, inventory your food supply. You got to do that. You got to know what you have on hand. I mean, I know what's in my bug out food supply. We keep an inventory, we update it. When we add to it, we update it and make sure everything that we have is accessible on a list. Boom. That way we know right away. But once you have that complete list of your foods, you want to establish a menu of what you're going to eat each day, at least for a week out. I know you're not going to be able to do it, for months. But once you get that set, remember to ration the food as soon as possible. As little as you need to survive, to stay strong and stay healthy. You want to get that established right up front and stick to it, guys.
Start with the fridge.
Yeah, of course. If the power's out and you don't have electricity to your fridge, eat everything in there first. Or your freezer, yeah. But the last one, you can see it's in big letters there. Dig a latrine. I'm telling you. Life without a latrine ain't friendly. And, if your toilet's not working, that's something else we're going to get into in our follow-up on Saturday. You're going to have somewhere to put that waste where it'll be safe and it won't be a contaminant. It won't be close by. You won't have to live with that odor. But those are things that you're going to have to do, guys. Everything on this list is what you have to do. Now, as far as what you got?
The show Daily Bread talk about, because they did everything on your list except dig a latrine.
Yeah, that's true. Wonder why they didn't put that in there.
I don't know.
But as far as the electronic components here, get those backups now, guys. Get that little portable radio. Get that little TV. Stick them in a Faraday cage. Get your walkie-talkies. Get your backup ham radios, GMRS radios, whatever you use. Get them now and put them in a Faraday cage. Like I said, it's getting worse every day with what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on in Europe. And we know it's coming in Asia. Once China decides they're going to make a move, we can't stop them if they want to go into Taiwan. And they have the ability right now to pop an EMP off. Because like I said, North Korea has 2 satellites that's going over us every 90 minutes. And nobody knows why they're there. There's no communication signal coming from them. They're just going around the world like they're just waiting on something. They've been there since 2014. Everybody knows they're there, but nobody knows why they are there. And they run in like they're synchronized. They run side by side around the world. South Pole, North Pole over North America. They've been doing that for 10 years. Nobody knows why. Running, probably 1,000 miles apart from Tennessee to Nevada. They're just circling the globe. What's up?
Linda Farrow asking things to be stashed in Mylar.
Yes. Get you some Mylar bag. I have a lot of my stuff in Mylar bags. But before I put them in the Mylar, I put them in a plastic bag and then put that in the Mylar bag, just in case, just a little insulation. You probably don't need it, but that's just me being redundant. That's all that is. Be a great idea. You can stick them in your closet, put them in your storage out in the garage, wherever. You don't have to have a big Faraday cage. Honestly, here, I don't have a Faraday cage here. I got stuff in Mylar bags. I got backup radios, backup TV, all kinds of stuff. Tucker, ain't you happy, buddy? Don't know if y'all heard that or not, but Tucker ain't happy about something. Cheers, guys. These are things you have to do, folks, to be ready for an EMP. The backup electronics, I'll get into that on Saturday. I'm already at 21 minutes here. I don't want to run over 30. Backup water, that's another one we're going to get to. Look for that video on Saturday. Because it will give you some good information, I promise you. Hope he don't start barking again.
That's all right, I'll go.
But that series she was talking about, Daily Bread, right here. We've been watching that. If you watched my review on the movie Civil War, right at the end of that video, I talked about this series that's on Prime. It's low budget, guys. The acting's not very good. But honestly, if you are a new prepper, you could sit down and watch that show with a pad and pen and take notes, and it would help you out tremendously. It's about this group of women here trying to survive out on a farm after a CME knocks out the power all over the world. Like I said, it is kind of low budget and cheesy, but it will teach you a lot. It's worth a watch if you can stand it. I mean,
it's really got good information, though. I mean, they're very, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, I've been entertained by it. I have. We're almost done with the first season. There's 2 seasons, but I can't recommend that enough. But if you guys have any questions, pop them in there. There's Buzz. There's my gang right there. All right. But, looks like we got a good bunch in here today. I appreciate it, guys. I just wanted to get right to the point and get it over with. There's a lot going on in the world we need to keep our eyes on because it's just getting worse and worse every day. It's not getting any better. Our economy is one thing. I hadn't looked to see where silver was, and silver and gold. Let me see here. Come on. Gold is at $2,385. Silver's at $28.29. But the economy is the shakiest thing right now for us. As far as the homeland, our DEFCON level was at 2. They lowered that back down to 3, or I should say elevated it to 3. But it's back to 3, so something changed. They're not as shaky as they were before, and I don't know why. There's a lot of chatter on a lot of channels where people that monitor those military radios frequencies, they're saying there's a lot of chatter picked up. A lot of it is scrambled, of course, but it's increased tremendously this week over previous weeks. So something is going on. I don't know if it's good or bad or if it's just an exercise, but they're saying that radio transmissions are higher on military bands, especially the scrambled bands, than it's been ever since they've been monitoring those things. So something's up. Just be ready for it. That's all. Of course, there are other things you can do to get ready for an EMP, but these are, or a CME, but these are just the things that I think you need to address first because they are vital.
Crystal mentioned getting an air conditioner unit has anybody done that? I told her we did, but if you have the generator to power it at night, you can
Right.
at least sleep in the summertime, especially
Right.
in Florida.
Right. Here in Florida, you got to have a little portable air conditioner if you're going to sleep at night. That's for sure. To try to cool off one room. But air conditioners like the one we have, it burns 900 watts an hour. So you got to have a pretty good solar power system to power that. For just 4 hours, you're looking at 3,600 watts. So you got to have a pretty good system to power that to keep you cool in the summertime here in Florida. Also, I emailed the people over at Jackery and asked them if their solar generators are EMP or CME proof. They never got back with me. Hopefully they will in a few days. If they do, I'll let you know. But I didn't see anywhere on the internet. I researched it while I was doing all of this, and I didn't see anywhere in any of their advertisements where they say they're EMP proof. So if you do have one of those units, you might want to keep it in a Faraday cage. It's all combined. It's all one unit. So the charge controller is in there with the battery. The charge controller is going to fry if we do have an EMP. The battery will be okay unless it has a battery management system. But I don't think they're EMP proof. So if you do have one, make sure you got that protected. Even your gas powered generators, a lot of them have the electronic ignition system on them. You need to put if you got a big one, get you an EMP blanket and cover it up. But then you get into fuel storage, which it's not easy to store fuel. It takes up a lot of room. You have to add chemicals to the gasoline to keep it stable over a long period of time. And it's just kind of bulky. So, I have both, thank goodness, a gas and propane and solar generators. So you might want to look into doing that stuff like that for yourself. Do it a little bit at a time. The solar generators I built. You guys have seen them, I'm sure. There's videos on my channel. And I have one to show you how to build a portable solar generator. If you hadn't seen that, you need to check it out. You can build it yourself, save a lot of money. But the ones I have, I'm not worried about it because the batteries, I know they don't have the battery management system in them, so an EMP is not going to hurt them. The charge controllers are going to be dust. They're going to fry. I know that. But I have several backups for those. And as far as the panels go, if your panels don't have a diode in the back, in the box, in the back, if they don't have a diode between the poles there, then your panels won't be hurt either. But that's something else I'm going to show you on Saturday.
We have some new people here, KP Heathen and
KP.
the unknown knows.
All right. Thank you for being here. All right. Yeah, we got some new folks in here. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it very much.
Michelle's right. Running water is the thing people will miss more than power, probably.
Yep. Running water is going to be a problem.
That's a hard.
If there's a lot of elevation changes in your neighborhood, then you might be able to get a little water if you're on one of those lower elevations. If not, you need to get you a filter system so you can harvest water and filter it. If nothing else, just boil it. But we'll get into that on Saturday. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. Didn't do my roll call, but I'm going to call out Edith Wallace. All right. Our sister Edith is back home after getting some major surgery done. She's getting better. I've been conversing with her son, Jeffrey. Edith's getting better. But she wants you to keep praying for her, guys. She's not completely out of the woods yet. So let's remember her in our prayers tonight. And hopefully, we'll all be here next week. So with that, I want to say I love you all. Appreciate you being here, folks. You new folks, thanks for coming on board. My longtime crew, thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. I love every one of you. And you know what that means? We got to get out of here. Stay strong, keep prepping, and pray for the United States. The Orlando Prepper is out.